Hello and welcome to Instablogs Global Report. This is Sukhmani with fresh updates and more citizen voices from all over the world. Stories for the day are: thousands mourn the death of Nepali journalist. Mexican federal agency arrests one of the founding members of Los Zetas. Ugandan rebels kill over 500 civilians in Democratic Republic of Congo. And A.R. Rahman wins Golden Globe for his musical score in Slumdog Millionaire. Journalists in Nepal expressed shock and horror over the brutal killing of scribe and women's activist Singh. Ms. Singh was attacked by a group of unidentified armed men who hacked her to death at her house in Janakpur on Sunday night. CJ Mukunda from Nepal says that threat from armed groups in Nepal has raised security concerns amongst journalistic fraternity in the country.
This is Mukunda, citizen journalist reporting from Nepal on Instablogs. Number of impunity and terrorism attacks is being high in Nepal. Terai, the southern part of Nepal near to India, has become cancer of the country. This week, Singh, a female radio journalist working in Janakpur, prominent religious place of Nepal, was murdered by unknown forces using weapons. It is still not clear who killed the journalist, who was in her mid-20s, but her father and brother were abducted and killed by Maoists 2 years ago. She had spoken about the difficulties of working in southeast Nepal, where armed groups have recently mushroomed. Ms. Singh is the first woman journalist who was murdered. Previously, more than 2 dozen of male journalists were killed by different forces. Insecurity for journalists is being raised in Nepal, whereas many journalists get threatened by different forces regarding the news and views.
Agents of Mexico's Federal Agency of Investigations arrested Miguel Angel Soto Parra, considered to be one of the founders of Los Zetas, the militant group of hitmen that began as the enforcement muscle for the Gulf drug cartel. CG Oscar Estrada from Mexico has more on the workings of the Zetas.
This is Oscar Villanueva, citizen journalist reported from Mexico. Mexico has captured one of the founders of the Zetas, Gulf cartel, brutal squad of hitmen that has behind much of the country's bloodshed. Miguel Angel Soto Parra, arrested Wednesday in Mexico City, is a former police officer who was one of the earliest members of the Zetas, a group of hitmen made up largely of army deserters. The Gulf cartel, which relies on the Zetas to settle scores with rival gangs, is one of the Mexico's top smuggling groups, running Colombian cocaine into Texas via the border cities of Matamoros, Reynosa and Nuevo Laredo.
United Nations High Commission for Refugees has expressed concern over worsening humanitarian situation in Democratic Republic of Congo following LRA's continued attacks on civilian population. CJ John Kibuka from Uganda says that the violence has caused widespread panic and displacement in the region.
This is John Kibuka, citizen journalist reporting for Instablogs.com. The Ugandan rebel group, the Lord's Resistance Army, has slaughtered at least 537 people and kidnapped another 408 in northeastern Democratic Republic of Congo since September. Troops from DR Congo, Uganda and Sudan have conducted joint operations against the LRA since December, but the military action has provoked further retaliatory raids by the rebels against the local civilian population. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees says over 100,000 people have also been forced to flee the violence to hide in bushes, especially the region around South Sudan and Uganda. An estimated 37,000 people have fled from Faraje, a town which borders Sudan, including over 10,000 children. The LRA has demanded an end to joint regional military offensive against its forces and urged UN mediators to organize fresh consultation.
The cast and crew of Slumdog Millionaire, which won 4 prizes at the annual Golden Globe Awards, will be in India to attend the film's Mumbai premiere on January 22nd, where the film has been shot extensively. CJ Pankaj Goswami from India thinks the Slumdog Millionaire has shown the world how effectively an Indian theme can be turned into a world-class film.
This is Pankaj, citizen journalist reporting on Instablogs from India. A.R. Rahman winning the Golden Globe for his musical score was India's moment under the sun. Despite the film Slumdog Millionaire having a British tag, the honours brought glory to Indian cinema, music and literature in one stroke. Rahman's soundtrack has a typical Desi flavor, and the film story was inspired by Indian life in the slums and originally told by Vikas Sarup through his thoroughly entertaining book Q&A. But now, Danny Boyle, who has won the Golden Globe by directing an essentially Indian project, has shown the world how effectively an Indian theme can be turned into a world-class film. Rahman has definitely made the country and the place where he honed his music skills, Chennai, proud through his soundtrack. Indeed, India has a large talent pool that waits to be tapped, not just musicians but in other fields too, with the potential to make movies that can make the world sit up and watch.
If you want your voice to be heard by millions, let Instablogs be your choice. You can contact us at cj@instablogs.com. That's all for today's show. We'll be back with fresh updates and more citizen voices. Till then, it's goodbye from the entire team of Global Report.